Now we get to my favorite part, eating out. Eating out is definitely a want and not a need. And when you are budgeting to go out to restaurants, you need to remember that. It's easy to want to go out to restaurants all the time, but it is much more reasonably priced to buy your own food and cook at home. So keep that in mind when you are eating out, that it is a want and not a need. Now, sometimes people like to eat out at a restaurant, but it is definitely a want and not a need. Since eating out can be expensive, it will really depend on your budget to guide how many times you can eat out every month. Some people will only be able to eat out once in a while on special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, things like that. Other people will have extra money in their budget to eat out often. If you need to save money in your budget, eating out is definitely something you can cut out in order to build more money into your savings. So let's take a look at this week's assignment for eating out. You are going to be choosing one of these restaurants. If you don't like the choices that are given to you that I have given you the links for, you could find a restaurant of your own liking. You will just have to search for the menu and the website yourself. I have given you a wide variety of selections here to choose from. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be choosing the cost of a drink. So let's say you want an iced tea. How much is an iced tea on the menu of the restaurant that you've chosen? Add the cost in here. An appetizer, add an appetizer cost from the menu. Make sure you add the right cost. An entree is what dinner you want to eat, what main part of your meal you want to eat. So maybe you want to eat some steak tips, add the cost of your steak tips or whatever you're ordering from your menu, and a dessert, because who doesn't love dessert? Add a dessert right in here. What you're going to do then, once you've chosen everything that you're going to eat, you're going to add up the cost of these items and put it in this spot here. That will be your cost of the meal. So let's say the cost of the meal ends up being $40, okay? You would put your total cost here. The next thing is that when we eat out, we need to make sure that we're paying tax. When we get our bill, it's going to be higher than what we ordered because we add a meal tax. Now, our meal tax is about 9%. So in order to find out the tax of your meal, you will take the total price of your meal. You will multiply it by 0.09. So take your total cost, let's say it's $40. $40 times 0.09. Now there is a calculator here for you, so you can go and say $40, make sure you use your decimal point. So $40 times 9%, 0.09 equals. The tax on your meal is not going to be 3.6 cents. This is $3.60. It's just taking out the zero. So $3.60 is actually what you are going to have on your for the tax. Okay. Now you're going to add up $40 plus the tax, which we decided was $3.60. Then you're going to add those things together and come up with the total cost of the meal. So if I look at my online calculator, $3.60 plus my original $40 for my meal is going to be $43.60. That will be the total cost of my meal. But now you need to actually do something called a tip. A tip, actually, TIP, fun fact, means to ensure promptness. So it is basically to make sure that if your waitress or your waiter has given you service, it's expected that you give them a tip because they don't get paid by the hourly rate of a minimum wage. Waitresses and waiters get paid less than minimum wage because the owner of the restaurant knows they're going to be paid tips. So in our culture, in our society, it is expected that you are going to give the waiter or the waitress a tip. The traditional amount is 15% of your total bill, including your tax. So 15% would go to the waiter or the waitress. I do 20% because that's really become the new customary service. So I will only do 15% if I think the waitress or the waiter didn't come and check on me. Maybe they were slow. You can't blame the waitress or the waiter for the service of the kitchen. But if they didn't ever come to ask me if I wanted a refill, or maybe they didn't notice I needed a fork when I needed a fork, I will do 15% of the bill. But generally speaking, I usually think that waiters and waitresses are not doing that work because they love it or want it. They need to pay their bills. So for me, I put 20% towards the tip because I think that's taking care of others. And if I am coming out to eat and that is a want and not a need for me, then I need to pass that on to the person that's working. Okay, and when you work for a restaurant, you will realize that as well, that when people tip you less than 15%, it really is not, it's not an okay thing to do. It's really disrespectful to not leave a tip or a 15%. 20% is really something that I kind of aim for because I want to take care of my servers, especially if they take care of me. And there are times, honestly, that I will do 25% when I get excellent service from a waiter or waitress, or especially an old student. I'll give them more than the tip that they would have normally expected. So what you'll do here is you'll take the cost of the meal, you're going to multiply it by 0.15, 15%. If I go back to my online calculator, remember I have $43.60 is my total of my meal. I'm going to multiply that by I'm going to do 0.20 because I like to tip 0.20. You can choose 0.15 if you'd like to do 15%, but 20%, I feel like if you can go out to eat, you can leave for 20% of a tip. So that's going to be $8.72 for my tip. I'm going to go back into my budget project. I'm going to add $8.72 for my tip. Then I'm going to add up the whole cost of my meal. So what was my meal cost? Right here, plus my tip is going to get my total meal cost. Now that's for one meal that you went out. Now you're going to, for your final yellow square, you're going to have to estimate how many times in your budget do you think you'll go out to eat to a restaurant per month. Some of you will say, nope, I'm going to do it like every 3 months. Some of you will say, I will go out once a month. Some of you will say, I will go once a week. If you're going once a week, how many times is that a month? There are 4 weeks in a month. So 1 times a week times 4 times a month, that would be 4 times. If you're going to go out twice a week to a restaurant, how many times that would be for a month? 4 weeks in a month. So twice a week times 4 would be 8. So you have to multiply the amount of meal price by the number of times you think you're going to go out to eat to get your budget for your month's eating out. So if you're only going to go out 1 time a month, you just use that as an estimate, your total meal plus tip. If you're going to go out twice a month, you would double this. If you're going to go out 3 times a month, you will triple this. If you're going to go out 4 times a month or once a week, you multiply this by 4. Okay, this final number, remember it's in yellow, so your yellow is going to have to go on your final budget page. It's going to go right here where it says eating out. Here's your eating out spot. That's how much per month. You're going to put your total amount of budget per month for eating out right in this spot. Okay, so make sure you ask the teacher questions if you have them. You can always go back, rewind this video, and pause along the way to do it step by step with the video. Have fun eating out.